Hello, my friends. It's Andy coming to you live from Southern California, very close to Yorba Linda, California, where we had a big victory yesterday. Many of you saw it. And right now, I think we're up to, I should have looked before I went, we were over 50,000 views on that particular video of how it's done here in Southern California in a little tiny town called Yorba Linda. Land of gracious living is what they call it. BLM and Antifa thought they were going to come in and just take over a very sleepy town. It's not very sleepy. As a matter of fact, there's a bunch of hard workers in here in this town, in Brea, where I live. I probably shouldn't say where I live, but too late. Yorba Linda, Fullerton area, Anaheim Hills. All this area is full of Americans who work their asses off, by the way. And that is why I think that when we heard that BLM was coming, that we all came together. There are many people there from Anaheim Hills. I think, like I said, Fullerton. We even had police from Anaheim and Fullerton and Placentia and neighboring cities that all came there to help out because we have not an overabundance. What's the proper word? We have an abundance, not an overabundance, an abundance, and we need more. We have an abundance of Americans. We also have, unfortunately, non-Americans. And that's the basis for the title that I said, We the People, only if you want freedom, because there is another segment of We the People that are trying to destroy America. And so I'm talking about we the people that want to save America and want to keep our freedoms. And it's going to be up to us to do this. We no longer can look to the media as a source of information, the mainstream media. We cannot look at them for information. We can't even look at our schools to open based on the needs of our children. We just got another extension from our school district. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but we just got another extension where they're going to extend it out even longer before our children can go back to face-to-face schooling, even though it's 99.997% of children survive COVID-19. That we have far more children dying of suicide. We have far more children dying in bicycle accidents, in skateboarding accidents. There's not been one child in California who has died from COVID-19. Now, that's not to say that people don't get it and don't get sick, but our survival rate is immense. It is far better than many other illnesses and viruses that are out there. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a video from Tucker Carlson, which I cannot find on the internet anywhere. I had to go to my church service to find the video. So I'm using the broadcast from my church service. What church service shows Tucker Carlson as part of their service? Mine does. And so I'm going to show you the recording from that because you need to hear this. If you've not seen it and if like me, you cannot find it, you have to go to my church in order to find this video because I looked on YouTube, I looked on Facebook, I looked on all the social media platforms. I cannot find it where it tells you the actual numbers of who is dying. And not only that, 30% of the 200,000 it is being discovered did not die of COVID-19. Not the other number that we were told. Remember the other number CDC corrected, it said that only 9,000 people died of COVID-19. The rest died of COVID-19 plus other complications, right? So there's only 9,000 people in the United States. That's not what the Democrats, non-Americans want you to believe. They want you to believe that COVID-19 is not only killing every American. Biden said 200 million Americans are going to die of COVID-19 by the time he was done with the speech the other day. That's the kind of stuff they want. They'll throw it out there and not really correct it, right? They just kind of leave it out there. And there's stupid people. I have stupid people on my Facebook page that actually believe COVID-19 is going to kill them. And it's very unlikely. It is possible, I guess, but it's very unlikely that you are going to die of COVID-19, by the way. And you can write whatever comments, and YouTube will take this off, and Facebook will take off my video because I said that. But now getting to my point is that it is up to us. It is not going to be thanks to mainstream media that they're going to give true, honest news and reporting on what is happening in the United States. No, you cannot trust them. You cannot trust Democratic politicians who are running our state here in California and many other states that are burning and have homeless problems, even though mainstream media says, you're crazy. There's nothing happening in those other cities. There's a few little skirmishes here and there. There's maybe one building burning. They don't mention the people that have been shot and killed. The guy that had a cross on his hat, who was part of a worship team, who was shot and killed by Black Lives Matter, Antifa dickwads. Oh shoot, I got to do this. Hold on. Here we go. I want to make sure and put that up down there. I was going to not. It's Sunday. I went to church. I'm trying to be better. And I'm going to get to that kind of stuff too later. I got a lot to get to you. I got to read from my book, Color, Communism, and Common Sense by Manning Johnson. This is Manning Johnson, a fantastic black man who wrote this book back in 1958 about his time in communism and what it is we need to know. This book was written in 1958. I'm going to give you some information that what he put in this book in 1958 that is exactly what is happening today. It's the playbook of what Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and the Democrats all are one organization, right? They're anti-American. And then we have Americans. We have Republicans, conservatives, people that maybe not be are Republicans, because I don't even think Donald Trump is necessarily a Republican. I don't think he's necessarily anything. I think he's a great president, is what he is. And we have some lousy Republicans in our political sphere, not only federally but statewide. We call them rhinos, of course, but just because you're part of a Republican Party doesn't make you good and correct. What we're looking for Americans here. What I found yesterday was a whole bunch of Americans in Yorba Linda who were not going to allow a bunch of snot-nosed, skinny-armed, basement-dwelling bitches to come to our city. Thank God I put that up there. Come to our city and cause problems. We can cause our own problems, right? We can speed, we can run red lights, we can have domestic violence issues in our city. We don't need other people coming into our town and causing more problems. We don't need you to come in here. Let me look at some of these comments right now. Hey Don, nice to see you. Always good to have you on here. One of my regular viewers. I so appreciate you very much. Fullerton. Yes, Fullerton. Hey Amy, nice to see you. That's my producer, Amy Feltz. I'm giving her my official title. She helped me out with today's show. Amy is, and she's from Texas. He's the Donald. That's right. He's the Donald party. Hey, Lori Wood, nice to see you. I'm so thankful for the 50,000 overviews and the hundreds of friend requests. I've spent most of my time today allowing. Not allowing, I guess allowing, right? Accepting, that's the word I was looking for, accepting friend requests, because I have to go through them, right? I can't just hit accept, because I had a guy, Saddam Hussein, who asked to be my friend today. It's amazing. There's another thing that's amazing. There's a number of women who love having their profile pictures in a bathing suit. There's a lot of them. I got some with some huge assets that if you want to see the one that I just got a few minutes ago, let me know, because I don't want to put it out because I don't want to offend anybody. I know that I've already cussed, and I know that that's probably not going to be the last time I cuss, but let me know if you want to see the last person that asked me for a friend request. I'll show it, because obviously she wants people to see. And but if you want to see it, let me know. And I don't want just men. I want to see women if they want to see the request that I got in that regard. All right. So let me get to some of my points before I get. I'll save that for the end of the show. So that'll be the bonus. If you if you want to see the last friend request I just got, it's probably I'm getting a couple more friend requests as I'm talking right now. But if you want to see the one that I'm talking about, let me know. I'll show you at the end. It's amazing. Good grief, show us. I will. I probably will at the end. All right. So let's talk about. I want to first talk about this pandemic, right? This pandemic that we've shut down our entire world. As I'm studying, watching, researching with Amy, sometimes Amy and I are kind of talking about some things that are happening on the different news articles and podcasts that we watch and that kind of stuff. And make sure I remind you of the difference between a podcast and a Facebook Live, because I'm getting confused. People ask me, like, where do I find your podcast? So I send them to iHeartRadio. No, I want to know where your podcast was from the riot. Well, I didn't do a podcast from the riot. I did a Facebook Live from the riot, and so it's very confusing in my world. So I'm gonna come back to that in just 1 second. All right. So I need to talk about this. This COVID-19 really just needs to end. This really needs to end. First of all, what I want to show you is my church, Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. Is my new adopted church. Since May, we have been meeting live, and it's kind of looked like this. Not kind of. Hold on, I got to get rid of my brand here. And I just want to encourage you. I know that this drives a couple of my friends crazy every time I show this. I go, look at it, it's a super spreader. It says you don't love people. You are killing people. But yeah, so here we are. That's my church. That's today. It's been like this since May in California, where we've been told that if you go to church and you gather, you will be arrested. This is my church. Let me go ahead and I'm going to make this a little bit, and I'm going to just show you. You can see the people moving. It's a little dark, so maybe you can't see it. But let me just share a little bit of my church. Those are all the people right there, walking around, greeting each other, high-fiving, shaking hands, singing, having a blast. All right, so that is my church. And the reason I'm showing you that, and it's important that I show you that, is because I'm telling you, we have been gathering since May. In the classrooms of every age group, there has to be 20 to 30, maybe 40 children, 3 services every Sunday and Wednesday night. It is always standing room only, all 4 services, 1 on Wednesday, 3 on Sunday, and the classrooms are full of children. We have no reports of anybody. There may have been somebody gotten sick from COVID-19, but we haven't even heard about that. We've not heard of anybody being sick and dying. We've never heard of anybody being hospitalized. And that has been going on for a very long period of time. We have people that come from San Diego. I've sat next to people coming from Las Vegas, from Bakersfield, from San Francisco just the other day, 2 Wednesdays ago, somebody from San Francisco. They drove down from San Francisco just to be there at the church. And so it's not just local people. I know, super spreader, you're killing people. People are dying. You hate people. You are un-American. No, I am telling you that this is a fraud. So let me go ahead and let's get to Tucker Carlson. Shoot, I lost the number here. And I want to give thanks to Amy Phelps for finding this video for me, because I looked everywhere for this video and I could not find it anywhere. And I even looked at one of the church services from today, the one I went to, and they cut it out of that church service. This is another one from later in the day. This was the afternoon one. Hold on, I'm fast forwarding to the spot where Tucker comes on. And so this is from my church. Again, they play stuff like Prager University videos at the beginning. They play stuff just because Jack Hibbs, the pastor for Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, is an amazing pastor. He gets political. He's friends with Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo is originally from Orange County down here. He's friends with Donald Trump. He has had discussions with Donald Trump. He had discussions about the Supreme Court with a group of pastors that led to the selection, and they weren't sure if their recommendation actually led to it or not. And I know there's some controversy about her too, but it doesn't matter. It's just that our church is politically involved in recalling Gavin Newsom, and Gavin Newsom even blocked Mike Pompeo from speaking at our church. He was supposed to speak at our church a couple months ago, and somehow the governor can block that from happening. So the State Department has to contact the state of California, the governor's office, and say, Mike Pompeo wants to come speak at the church there in Calvary Chino Hills, Chapel Chino Hills. And the governor said, no, he cannot come and speak at our church. So this is this is kind of church that I go to. All right, so here we go. I'm going to cut off my mic here so you can't hear me. And then listen to this report. If you've not seen it, it's very powerful. It tells us exactly what's going on with COVID-19. And here we go.
Okay, let's do this. I want you to be comforted, and I want you to listen really carefully to the numbers mentioned, and then the unpacking of the numbers. Listen carefully. Roll the tape.
And it is dangerous, and it can be scary. More than 200,000 people have died. But that doesn't mean that everyone is at risk. The details actually matter. So as part of our ongoing commitment to science on this show, we're going to give you the new CDC numbers. And they show the vast majority of Americans face no risk, virtually no risk. For people aged 1 year to 69 years, the survival rate post-infection with COVID is over 99%. For young people under the age of 20, which is most college students who are being thrown out of school for congregating outside, the survival rate, this is from the CDC, is 99.997%. Why are we doing this again, particularly on college campuses? Dr. Mark Siegel has thought a lot about this. He's covered this story from day one. He's, of course, our Fox News medical contributor. We're happy to have him on tonight. Doctor, good to see you.
Hi, Tucker. The media obsessing on the number 200,000, right? We're looking at both sides of this. We're looking at the death rate. We're looking at the number 200,000. We take it very seriously. But we're also looking at this good news about survival improving, increasing. Now, first, on the 200,000, I want to point out that a new study out of Oxford showed that over 30% of those deaths are not COVID. There are other causes, and they also happen to have COVID. The second point about that is that most of the deaths, 35 to 50%, are still occurring in nursing homes. And a lot of that is preventable. But that's why the statistic you just said, that over the age of 70 is where the deaths are occurring. Under 70, it's almost impossible you're going to die, and yet from COVID. And yet fear messaging continues. Everyone out there, if you have a COVID diagnosis, I bet it percolates in your brain that it could be you. Now, why is the survival increasing so dramatically? It's because of earlier diagnosis. It's because of great medical care. It's because of remdesivir, a drug we talked about first in Nebraska, dexamethasone, plasma, new antibodies coming out that we're going to be able to use, vaccine on the horizon. All really good news, Tucker. So why the fear messaging? Why the message to the public that you could be next? I have one answer for that, Tucker. It's because it's an election year and because an election is coming up, and that's not fair to the American public. So tonight I want to say once again, the science has to triumph over the politics, Tucker.
Amen.
So the American population voted Trump into office in 2016, and this is our long-awaited punishment. It's one of the worst things our country's ever done, I would say. If you look at the effects on children, if you have kids, shocking what we're doing to them. Really is. Dr. Siegel, thank you.
Tucker, if you have bacterial pneumonia, there's a 14% chance you're going to die. If you have Ebola, it's 50%. Here, if you're under 70, it's almost zero. Tucker.
Listen.
Spinal meningitis kills a lot more college students than COVID. Great to see.
Yeah, so that should encourage you. You're hearing the number 200,000 dropped constantly, but the CDC and Oxford, they're pulling the numbers out, getting the science, getting the data straight. And you heard him say 30% of those that were deemed dead from COVID didn't die from COVID. They died from other things, but they had COVID, but they died from something else.
And there you go. And so it's funny to watch my numbers. My numbers were really high before I started that video. There's something about science and truth and facts that turns people off, a large number of people. And I don't understand. None of it makes any sense. I've been talking about this for a very long time. Again, I got called arrogant earlier today. Another show that I did from my truck this morning, and I had to watch. I go, what did I say that made me sound arrogant? I did say that I've been right often, but it's not arrogant. It's just that I show that I was right. I'm not saying I'm right and I'm not right. I'm not like Don Lemon or Andrew what's his name? Cuomo? Whatever that is. It Andrew Cuomo or I don't know which is which. They're both idiots. I mean, they're both on the moron list, so it really doesn't matter what their names are. But what I was saying is that I spend time researching and listening to not just our scientists, but scientists from other countries, and I look at the data that they're showing, and they're saying, "Hey, listen, what's happening as far as when we send these kids back to college and school and that kind of stuff, their infection numbers will go up." This is doctors from other countries. And they're saying the worst thing you can do is shut things back down again, because then you go back to zero and everybody starts to get well, and then you send people back out again and it goes back up again. You will never get out of that cycle. You have to send people back out to get them together, to get some people to get infected so they can get over it. And so then we can have this downward spiral of getting rid of it. But by going back out, having it peak and then come back out again, is that you're just prolonging what it ends up, what has to happen. And this is from scientists from other countries before. This is months and months ago that I've been hearing this. Other countries that didn't shut down. The cities and states that are claiming that because they shut down, they did a better job, is where most of the infections occurred. So how is it that masking and shutdowns actually work when the places like New York and other areas, they're not coming to me right now, but the other areas that had these peaks, right? These really huge peaks in deaths. How is it those places that are still shut down today are the places where we had most of the infections and most of the deaths? So you can't tell. I mean, again, it's just, there has to be something that comes in what is called common sense, right? It's not just science and facts, but common sense has to prevail at some point, right? You would think. And I look at that church. I showed you all the amazing people at that church. There are a lot of elderly people there that are not masked. There are a lot of children that are in those classrooms, and they're all gathering together. They're all playing together. They're playing basketball. They're playing tag. They're singing. They're worshiping. And we have no incidents of hospitalizations or deaths that I have heard of. Again, that we would hear, I am sure. I have a lot of faith in this church. I have a lot of faith in God, and I have a lot of faith that what we are doing is correct. That church is amazing. Thank you, Dixie, for saying so. It is an amazing church. It is fantastic. And we need to open up our churches. And it is something else, man. 30% of 200,000 is 6. Thank you. My producer, Amy Phelps. Producer Amy. That's what I'm going to call you. Producer Amy. Producer Amy comes out again. 60. Again, the numbers again. They don't want you to hear those numbers, right? They want you to believe that Donald Trump killed 200,000 people. Biden wants you to believe that Donald Trump killed 200 million people. That's what they want you to think. This has nothing to do with keeping America safe. This has nothing to do with anything else other than pushing fear out into our country and across the world. The United States is one of the most important, if not the most important country in the world. And if we are fearful, if we are having problems, the rest of the world is going to have problems. That is a fact. That is not arrogant. That's not me being arrogant. That is the truth. And we have Democrats who don't care. Right? They're un-American. They are not American. You will never convince me that currently the Democrats that are either voting Democrat or that are in power that are Democrats care about the United States of America and care about people and care about people's lives, because it's destroying middle America. Right? They keep bringing up that Donald Trump's that Biden's going to lower middle Americans' taxes. That is a myth, and that is a lie. Right? Because what he's going to do is he's going to repeal all of Donald Trump's tax cuts, which affects middle America. So you cannot repeal his tax cuts and not have taxes go up for middle America. Number one, they also talk about that Donald Trump is killing these hundred, he's killed 200,000 people, and that again Biden said he killed 200 million people by the time he was done with the speech, because they want you to believe that he hates no. What's happening right now with these closures and not having the ability for many of us working parents. I have 4 children that are 3 in elementary school, 1 in junior high, and 1 that's out of school. The most difficult thing that I'm dealing with right now is that how do I work and have 4 children here doing schooling online when most of my work is involved in being online, and I got a house. It's $1 million house, but it's very small because I live in Southern California, because our taxes are the highest of any other state in the freaking country, where we have more homeless problems. We have blackouts because we can't run our electricity, and we have forest fires that are destroying half of our state, right? We have to pay these taxes and pay exorbitant prices for houses, and yet I cannot go to work. How is that helping middle America? Democrats do not care. They want to keep us shut down. They don't want our children to go to school. They want to not give us options for school, right? They want to take all the they want government to control the schools. They want government to control all of our medical, because none of that is because they care about Americans. That will do nothing but destroy America. We've seen that in other countries like Cuba. In Argentina, it's occurring right now. I have a friend from Argentina who says, oh my gosh, well, you guys are going through right now what we went through before our country got destroyed. If you don't stop this right now, you are going to destroy your country, is what my friend from Argentina, who is here legally, by the way, whose family crosses across the border back and forth. His children happen to cross over the border over and over again without ever being caged, by the way, never put in dog kennels. And he says, what you're going through right now is what our country went through a few years ago when we were one of the richest countries in the world, and now we are one of the most horrible countries in the world, where the elderly get paid less from the government than criminals that are currently in prison. Prisoners get paid more from the government while they're in prison than the elderly get paid on a weekly basis from the government. In what world do you want to live in where prisoners, felons, get more money from the government because they're criminals than senior citizens who have lived peacefully in your country get less money? Not even half, like a lot less. Where you, as a business owner, you must hire somebody that's a homosexual. I have nothing against homosexuals, by the way. I'm just telling you. Oh, he's a Christian Republican, so he hates homosexuals. No, I'm telling you that you have to hire somebody that they're homosexual. So Aldo, my friend from Argentina, says, well, when I go back, if I have to go back to my country, I'm going to be a homosexual. And no more, I'm not heterosexual, and I'm going to become a criminal because I'm going to make more money being a homosexual criminal than I will be for being a heterosexual business owner. They destroy businesses. They tax them so high that you can't even run a business, and that you have to hire people that are not qualified based on their sexuality. How is that? How is that happening in our world today? That you have to hire somebody based on their sexuality, not based on how good they are at their job. That is very odd, isn't it? But that's what's happening in Argentina. That is the truth. That is what's happening in Argentina. And so the Democrats really like to talk about, I'm going to read something from this book that's going to tell you exactly about, in 1958, that was written about this thing that I'm talking about right now. That this is just I'm sorry, Amy, I left your thing up there for a really long time. Look at that shirt, super hot. Thank you, April. I love you. I miss you, by the way. April from Nashville, Tennessee. Her city's not doing much better, by the way. You got a dimwit over there in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh my Lord, what is happening? Liberalism is a disease, a decease. I wish. All right, and so. Let me just visit, before I go to this book here, let me just visit a little bit of what happened yesterday. And this is important. What I saw yesterday in Yorba Linda as I was there filming, and again, I have over 50 something views of that video where I was in the middle of, I was literally between Americans and Democrats, right? Literally between the Americans and the Democrats. The Democrats in the form of BLM and Antifa and whatever, I don't know what else they were wearing. Their little uniforms, their little uniforms, and had their little weapons with them and their little cameras, and very expensive cameras, by the way, and some very expensive pieces of equipment that they pulled out of a U-Haul where they traveled to Yorba Linda. None of them are from Yorba Linda, by the way. There might have been one or two, but none of them were from Yorba Linda coming there. So these Democrats come into Yorba Linda thinking they're going to come over and either try to burn our city, try to destroy the rally that was going on. The rally I believe the rally became in existence because of BLM was going to come to the Nixon Library and cause some problems. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but either way, we met there at the library, not the Nixon library, but the Yorba Linda Library in the parking lot, where you saw eventually one of the BLM members get in her car and run over several of the Americans that were holding American flags and Trump flags, and nearly killed 3 of them. And one guy seriously injured. And so what I want to talk to you about in this, not just about what a great job we did of chasing out BLM, and no buildings were harmed in the filming of that documentary yesterday, and maybe their car had a broken window. A couple people had bloody noses and some other stuff going on, and OC in the eyes. They were some people that I talked to had been sprayed in the eye, and some of that stuff was going on. But the power of we the people, when we stick together and do not allow tyranny, Marxism, communism to come into our land, and we force it out, when Americans get together and have a belief in something better and better for our community and our children, to protect our land, to protect our existence and who we are as Americans and our freedoms, that when we get together, we're very powerful people. We are very intimidating. And I probably should have put it up, but I didn't think about it until just now. But the one thing that was said, and this was on my personal page, I'm going to try to look for it right now, is that Antifa had a post, and they, well, how'd it go in Yorba Linda? Were you guys successful? And the guy said, no, they were a lot bigger and stronger and more motivated than we were. And that was a powerful statement. And I got to hand it to him for at least being truthful in that thing. I can't bring it up, unfortunately. This is going to take me too much work here. I hate the new Facebook, by the way. It is stupid. It is dumb. Damn it. I hate it. I hate the new Facebook. It is miserable. I can't do anything, and it takes so long to. It's another communist organization, the freaking Facebook and Zuckerberg. Who the hell is he? And I use this platform because that's where I reach people, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. Hold on, I'm determined now. I'm gonna bring it up here. So here is the post. I'm almost there. Stand by. I'm bringing it up. I should have this ahead of time. I am so sorry. I saw something else I want to show you guys. Biden. Oh my God. That's how stupid the Democrat, that's how you know that you're not dealing with intelligent people, right? I mean, there's no way in the world that you can claim to be a Democrat and have any form of intelligence. You can't, because you have a guy that you've nominated, that you voted for as a Democrat, that you said, this guy is the best. This guy can be the leader of the world. Right? The president of the United States, there's no doubt, there's no question that the president of the United States is the leader of the free world. There's no way around it. And people that hate Trump, well, no, he's not our president. He's not. No, he's made peace in the Middle East. Okay, I'm going to calm down because I'm getting excited. You have to be a moron to think that Joe Biden really it's possible for him to be the president of the world. Essentially, there is no doubt. And I know this probably offends other people from other countries, and I am sorry. But whatever happens in the United States affects everybody. It's just the United States is just it is what it is. That's a stupid phrase. I hate that phrase. It is what it is. It is what it is. I have no way around it. But here we are. So, and I don't know how I got so far off track, but right here, I'm going to make this much bigger. But the one thing that I love about Antifa that wrote, it says, our comrades, that's what I call it. See, comrades, the Reds. And when I read from this book called Communism and Common Sense, they talk about comrades. But the Antifa, our comrades are currently being overrun by fitter, stronger adversaries. We need some muscle to make. They're not going to find muscle. I saw Antifa. There was no muscle. I hate to tell them. There was some guts and some other stuff going on there, but not muscle. We need some muscle to make their way to the area ASAP. We beg the. This is my favorite part. We beg the cops for help. We begged the cops to help, but they wouldn't. Odd. Guess they are pouting because we said we hate them. They are useless. Help. This is from Antifa. I'm not making this crap up. One of the other ones. Honestly, Billy, not great. It could have been worse, but we know it could have gone better. We have numbers. We just don't have the muscle and sometimes the backbone to fight. That is true. It's easy for us to taunt cops when we know they can't do anything to us, but this was different. Yes, it was different. Why? Because you took on a bunch of Americans. You're not in a Democrat-run city like Portland or Seattle. Do I have autofocus on? Sorry about that, folks. Let me turn this off. I just saw me go. Sorry. When they're going and taking over Portland, when they're going and taking over Seattle, when they're going and taking over New York, what they're dealing with is a bunch of like-minded wimps and snowflakes in these Democratic-run cities. So there are no Americans in those cities. There's nobody willing to stand up against the little piddly-ass, skinny-armed brats that are Antifa and BLM, because they have like-minded people that said, well, we don't want to hurt them. We don't. Oh, their language is so bad, and they get all snowflakey on us. And it is like-minded people that are not going to go against these people. And I'm holding my hand. That's not very strong and tough. But this is why you see these Democratic-run cities being overrun, because there's no Americans there standing up. They are either, and this is the basis for we the people, they're either being quiet, which is wrong. You are wrong if you're being quiet. I am sorry. I know that I have a bunch of very strong Americans and conservatives that say, well, I can't say anything because I'll lose my job. I can't say anything because I don't want to lose friends. I can't say anything because my family will stop talking to me. I don't know what to tell you, because it's either that or we lose the country. You have a choice. And I'm sorry. I'm telling you right now that I have gained more followers and friends and like-minded people that you may have thought were not going to support you. They go, oh my gosh, I'm glad that you came out, because I kept posting things like a black square on my Instagram because I was afraid not to, because I was afraid somebody might think that I was a Trump supporter, and I am, but I didn't want anybody to think that, right? I have a lot of stories. I posted people that have joined the walk away movement, right? Walk away, walk away, right? Hashtag walk away. I'm so sorry. I should know. I see it all. I look at it every day because the numbers just keep growing and growing because there's so many people. Walk away, right? Hashtag walk away. I'm so sorry. I can't remember the name of the thing. But so many people that are walking away. And what I saw yesterday, again, is a result of that. And I wanted to show you on video. I'm so glad I was there to be able to show you what happens when people just say, I've had enough. Because it's not happening in these Democratic run cities. I know there's Americans that live in those cities. I know, because I know some of them. They message me and say, I live in Portland and I can't believe what's happening to my city. But I can't say anything because I will lose my job. They will run me out of the city. They will burn down my house. They will whatever. I have a Trump flag, an American flag, and a blue line, a Blue Lives Matter flag, all in my front yard. And people go, aren't you scared they're going to come? I don't know. They might. I have cameras all over the front of my thing. I have cameras surrounding my home. I have cameras inside my home. My children have gotten used to it now. I tell them, hey, when I'm not here, I'm watching you, just so you know. But I have cameras everywhere. Hashtag walk away campaign. Thank you, Amy. Yes, my producer again is right there. Hashtag walk away. Yes, there's so many people walking away. People that, we have gay couples. We have people from the Black community, Mexican community, formerly communist. They're coming, and they're just like, okay, I've had enough. I can't take anymore. These people are batshit crazy because what you've done, and thank you for the disclaimer down there. What you've done is you've showed them through your looting and firing, burning up of buildings and that kind of stuff. What you've done, if you showed them that they really don't care about you, right? Black Lives Matter does not care about Black communities, Black people, about Black anything. They don't care because they're mostly white people, as you saw yesterday. If you saw any of my feed, most of them are white little shitheads. Right. And they care nothing about really what is happening in the Black community. They don't care that Donald Trump is making the bigger difference in the Black communities than our Black president did. Right. The Black president did nothing but destroy Black communities. Yet a white, rich real estate businessman who actually does care about the Black community and actually doing something for the Black community. But again, the media doesn't want you to know that. So let me go ahead and read from this book now. Color, Communism, and Common Sense, Manning Johnson. I'd like to show you people that are joining. It's a great book. Make sure and get it and read it because it's the playbook for what's happening today. And I'm gonna read a portion of this book, and I'm gonna try to stop at the right point. But it's just to demonstrate a portion. Now I've read a lot of this out in some of my other podcasts and Facebook Lives and that kind of stuff that I've done. And there's way more powerful paragraphs, but this is important about what I'm talking about today. So this is called Destroying the Opposition, Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is called Destroying the Opposition. No small amount of support of the communist cause came from important and influential Negro newspapers. The late Robert Minor, a top red, wrote, in some of these papers repeatedly appear open admissions that Communist Party is the only party that advocates or fights for equal rights for Negroes and the right of self-determination for the Negro people. And what I want you to do is replace communism for Democrats, right? Democratic or DNC or whatever. So this is very much the same. And there really are no different when you really look at deep down inside what the Democratic Party has been all about and the far left has been about. And so just replace anytime I say communism with Democrat. And he cited two of many examples of this reaction of the Negro press. Because of lack of space, I shall quote only 3 excerpts from one of his examples. No menacing Reds, again, communists, from the Afro-American Baltimore. This is from the paper at the time, Afro-American Baltimore. No menacing Reds. The Reds are going our way, like ourselves. They represent a feared and hated cause. They are the first white group since emancipation to advocate race, social equality, and intermarriage for those who wish it. So you see what the press controlled by the communists is trying to say that these white people, these communists, are the only ones who care about us. They're the only ones since emancipation who have cared about the Black people. that they represent a fear and hatred cause. They are the first white group since emancipation to advocate race, social equality, and intermarriage of those who wish it. In fact, there is more real Christianity among white communists than the white YMCA, the white Christian Endeavor societies, societies, or the white so-called Christian churches. The Reds are no menace to Negroes. In fact, it is comforting to find groups of such people as communists in this color mad world. So you see what they're doing. They've convinced the black community that the communists have loved them and represent them and support everything they believe in and do nothing for them, by the way. So here we go. There were also Negro intellectuals, artists, professionals, politicians, etc., seeking a ladder to success. They are used, listen to me, they are used according to the strategic needs of the Communist Party, not for the needs of the black community, but for the needs of the Communist Party, the Democrats. They're using the black community for their needs, not for the needs of the black community. In preparation for their treacherous role, the party passes along the word covertly or openly to give them preferred treatment. Forces, money, publicity, etc., are used in the buildup to change comparative Negro unknowns into national, international race leaders. Wires were pulled in local, state, and federal governments to appoint, upgrade, and transfer to strategic positions Negroes whom the communist apparatus could use. That word is used several times. Could use. They're using them. All right. I want you to understand this. Congressional records show that an internationally prominent Negro was aided in his rise by Red spy Alger Hiss. We have never heard of this same Negro ever recommending any qualified member of his own race as a government appointee. The record does show that he recommended white appointees. So they caused this. They allowed this one Negro. This is his words, not mine. Negro to rise in prominence. And yet that Negro who rose above never supported any other black person. He only supported people like Nancy Pelosi, if she existed back in 1950 or in the 1940s when he was writing about. This was written in 1958. That he only supported people like what's his name, Schumer and Nadler, right? We're going to support you never see them supporting any other black person. The record does show that he recommended white appointees, later shown to be connected with the communist conspiracy. Take also the example of a well-known Negro federal judge who made 2 rulings in favor of the criminal communist conspiracy. He was known as a communist fronter before he was appointed. He is hailed in the red press and was boomed for the Supreme Court. In both instances, the long-range investment of the communists paid off. Similar examples can be cited again and again. As a result, belief has grown among Negro opportunists that if you want to get ahead, play ball with the Reds, the communists, the Democratic Party. Whoever the Reds do a successful job on a so-called renegade or militant, I guess so, or militant anti-communist, it rivets tighter the conspiratorial cover of the party. To ensure this end, nothing is more enlightening than a few object lessons. The awesome spectacle of the array of forces in all walks of life, potent and with ample money, cold-bloodedly and efficiently going about the job of destroying the reputation and influence of those designated as enemies of communism, keep many in line and enforce silence. And that is what they're doing with law enforcement, right? They're the enemy. They are racist. They're systemic racism within the law enforcement is what they're trying to tell you, which is a myth, which doesn't exist. I've shown you studies. I've read you studies. The FBI has done studies that there is no systemic racism within law enforcement. As a matter of fact, you're more likely to get shot by a cop if you're white than you're black. That is what all the studies have showed. Even Harvard has a study that shows that you're more likely to get shot if you're white than if you're black. That you have professionals, like I said, professionals, artists, professionals, politicians, intellectuals, that they are supporting and helping create this this wave of racism, this division between races, that this is what's happening. This is so important that you understand this. And I hope that it's making sense on this whole thing between what I talked to you about COVID-19, what I'm talking about churches, what I'm talking to you about what happened yesterday, that as Americans, we have to kind of understand that there's nobody going to help us, that you're silent, that you're not doing something because you're afraid of what they'll think of you. They'll think you're a Trump supporter. Who cares who the president is right at this point? What is the message? What is that we need to have in government right now? It is not Democrats, that's for sure. You may hate Donald Trump. You may hate his tweets. I could care less. As you can tell by the way I talk quite a bit. Like, you have no idea. I talk a lot like Donald Trump. People putting comments on my post saying, "Oh, look at you! You're calling people names, and you call yourself a Christian." And I'm a sinner. I am for sure. I am the ultimate Christian because I'm a sinner. And I think I admitted to being a hypocrite, and that is not true. I said I had to rewatch because somebody told me I was arrogant, so I watched the whole thing, and I mentioned something. I kind of leaned in the area that I was also claiming I'm not hypocritical. I've never said that you are a horrible person because you don't believe in Jesus Christ or that you don't believe in God. I've never said that. I've never said that as a Christian, if you cuss, you can't be a Christian. No, I'm telling you that the church is full of us. The church is full of people that are sinners. That's all there is in the church of Christians is sinners. All there is in the church is people that cuss under, in their head and maybe not say it out loud, or people like me who actually say it out loud on a Facebook Live. That we are who we are, but we believe in God. We believe in our country. Some of it, you don't have to believe in God to be an American. I'm not telling you, you can be whoever you want and still be an American and believe in our freedoms. We do not want the government in charge of our hospitals and of our medical business. We do not want the government in charge of every aspect of our education system. We don't want the government in charge of a whole bunch of other crap in our, they can't run the post office, for God's sake. Right? I know Donald Trump is stealing all the post office boxes in the mailboxes. I know he has them in the garage of the White House, but we don't want we want less government in our lives. You dipwads. Yeah, but all these people that are saying, law enforcement is evil and that kind of stuff. Then why? What are you writing for? Because in some aspects you're saying that you don't like the government, but yet you're voting Democrat who all they want is government. You got to make up your mind. Do you not want all of the tyranny that you're calling? You don't want any of that stuff, but yet you are going to do all you can to destroy this country so that you get so many people confused and dumb them down because the media is dumbing down a large portion of our community because all they listen to is CNN and MSDNC. That is their education. That is all they listen to. I have Christian men, Hispanics and Jews that all they do is listen to CNN and MSDNC, and they believe that that's the truth. They still believe that Donald Trump is a Russian spy. They don't know. They have not. They're like the what is it? The Vietnam, the Vietnamese that got lost on an island that still thinks that the Vietnam War is going on. Or, the Korean that's still like, he got lost on some island and he still thinks the war is going on because they don't hear, he's not heard anything else. Right. And so you got these CNN and MSDNC people and New York Times readers that believe that Donald Trump is still somehow Russian, that he's a Russian spy. And they have not learned that it was actually Hillary Clinton who was actually a Russian advocate and spy and collusioner. That the organization of the Democratic National Committee was and currently probably still is working with the Russian government and foreign governments to bring down our government. They've not heard the news that the truth is that it was never Donald Trump, that it was always Barack Obama and Biden and Hillary Clinton. That they still live in this island where they only see CNN, they only see the news that, he's a spy, he's killed 200,000 people. Oh, Biden said he killed 200 million people the other day in 15 minutes of his speech. That's what the truth is. I see them. They still comment on my posts They're still morons. The Shonda chick and some other people. I don't even know who these people are. They're morons, but I will never block them because they always make my point. They always get on there and make stupid statements and cite certain things that just kind of like, I go like that. Like, see, they're still there. They still watch and they still pay attention, but they're still wrong. Right? That the church I go to that has 3,000 people for every service on Sundays with no mask and no social distancing, that hug and shake hands and sing out loud, that none of us have died from COVID-19. Now, people probably getting the flu. There's probably people getting, what was it, meningitis and whatever, some other type of illness, and they're probably dying of that. There's a good chance of that. And that's how our world works. It's always been that way. But they're not dying of COVID-19. Because why? Because it's 99.997% survivable with anybody from 20 years and under. And then you go up higher than that, it's still 99 point blah, 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 whatever it is. You dimwits. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Hey, let me tell you about this whiskey. I'm going to have it shot down because I need it. This is a great whiskey. This isn't a commercial. I actually missed my commercial today. I got so excited to start. I didn't do any of I'll do them at the end. There's a lot of stuff I have to do at the end. Dang. I'm already almost at an hour. So this Riptide, you got to try this Riptide whiskey rye, right? Rye whiskey. And it's 118 proof. Yes. And I'm going to go for my first shot right here. So it's 118 proof. And the reason I'm bringing it to you and telling you about it, because I was at Wines Plus yesterday, and I look at there's a whole aisle, right, of whiskeys and ryes and bourbons on both sides. And I go there and I look and I go, I want something between 90 and 100 or 200. Who knows? And but it gets up into like the $80, $90 when you get up into the 100 proof, right? I mean, if I'm going to drink, I might as well make sure that it has an impact and it's doing something. I'm going to be sitting at home. What the hell, right? And you get into the hundreds and and it's always like $70, $80, $120, whatever. And the guy there at Wines Plus says, hey, I'm going to give you a little, there's a great one. Did you know that you may not have ever tried because the price is so low that you don't try it because you think that it's got to be bad if it's like under $30. And he goes, but it's great. He goes, listen to me. This is really, really good. And he takes me, he goes, try this Riptide. Riptide, it's a Cali Distillery Riptide cask strength. It's a single barrel. And it's 118 proof single barrel. And there's other stuff written on the back. I can't see it right now. But it's like $30 with tax. $30 with tax. And it's fantastic. So oh man, I poured too much. That's not a shot. Can't do a shot. I'll do half of it. So here's to you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm not done yet. I got more stuff I gotta talk to you about. Hold on. And I gotta show you my friend request. You gotta see this chick or this girl. Sorry. I know you guys don't. I'm sorry I called you. And here we go. So yes, I'm not politically correct. And some people think that I'm arrogant. I'm not sure what I did, but right here, the sign right here, it says, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. That may be what he's talking about. But I have a man's heart. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. Proverbs 16:9. Sorry if you can't hear me. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. And up here it says, we don't call 911. You see, those are two pistols. It's hard to see. And then up here it says, rescued is my favorite breed. And then over here, today I will do what others won't. So tomorrow I can do what others can't. That was one of my favorites too. So this is one of my favorite. Oh, sorry, the bottle's in the way. So this one says, today I will do what others won't. So tomorrow I can do what others can't. I love that one. That was awesome. All right. So let me look at a couple of things. Love your energy. Thank you. It's today's Happy Coffee. So let me get to you. I'm glad you brought that up. So let me just give you a couple of the sponsors. Please try these products. They're fantastic. I'm telling you, I have lost 20 pounds. Oh, here's one of the new. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Hold on. And thank you, Priscilla, for the energy. Oops, sorry, wrong one. There we go. Today'shappycoffee.com. Try today'shappycoffee.com. They got Georgia Peach. They have Zest, which is a lemonade. And of course, they have coffee. That's why it's called Today's Happy Coffee. They have the happy hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and what's the other one? E stands for shoot. Where's my note? I used to have a note somewhere. Dang it. Endorphins. So you have the happy hormones that come in and give you great feeling of happiness, and then a great appetite suppressant. I'm going to go ahead and put this picture up. I know you guys love it when I put this picture up, but this is a picture of me before and after. Before and after. There's my, that's blocking. Sorry. Got to get rid of the banner really quick. So there we go. So there's me with the big old fat ass belly. And then I've lost a whole lot of weight. And I even got more weight that's off. So you can actually see 2 packs of my 6-pack that will be a 6-pack pretty soon. All right. So that will be, you go to todayshappycoffee.com. I can't get rid of the picture. I'm panicking. There we go. And I've lost a lot more weight. And here's the story. So I've had high blood pressure. You know my story. When I started taking CBD because I have cancer, I started taking CBD for the cancer. And although I still may or may not have the cancer, I don't know. I have anyway, you don't want it. It's a whole long story. But the CBD, yesterday, my blood pressure began to drop. I used to have really high blood pressure. The CBD was outstanding. I got to sleep better. In coincidence, I can't tell you that the CBD did it, or else the FDA will take me down. So at the time I took CBD, in coincidence, my sleep got better, my mood got better, people began to notice the difference, and my blood pressure actually dropped to a certain point where I was able to cut a lot of my medication actually out completely, but not quite. Some things happened. I started gaining some weight, and I got my blood pressure started going up. I went to Today's Happy Coffee, started taking these products, and they have a new product right here. It's called Elevate Max, which is a little capsule. They call it Magic in a Capsule. Man, my energy boosted. I started doing all kinds of work around the house. However, a couple of days later, I began to get kind of lethargic and tired and kind of like dizzy. The world started spinning, and I couldn't quite figure it out. Well, I had my blood pressure checked the other day, and now I have low blood pressure. They said, stop taking the medication. So I don't know. Again, I can't tell you. I can't say because the FDA forbids me from telling you that these products did anything for me. I can just tell you that's the only thing I've changed in my life. The only thing I've changed in my life is I've added these products between the CBD and the Happy Coffee stuff, and my blood pressure has never been lower. So I'm just going to promote that today. All right. So I meant to show you this. Oh, hold on. I meant to show you this other stuff really quick, but just really quick. I'm going to go back. If you don't think our schools are in trouble, if you don't know, again, there's another part of my story where I was going through divorce. My ex-wife was trying to homeschool the children. She did a horrible job, miserable job, by the way. They were 4 years behind in their education. I had to sue her, take her to court for a year and a half. I sued to get my kids into public school. How bad does their homeschooling have to be that you have to sue to get them into public school? It's got to be pretty bad. Right? So it was pretty bad. It was bad enough that I go, I got to get them into public school, because I would have loved for them to be homeschooled if they would have been educated. The problem is they weren't getting educated. So I had to sue, cost me tens of thousands of dollars to get them into public school. And then I find out public school is now doing a whole bunch of stuff. So, and now I wish I could homeschool them. I run businesses. It's difficult, whatever. But here we have, what's her name? Warren, Elizabeth Warren. So here she is in a school setting. Do you see what they put there in the background in the blocks? I'll zoom in for you. Black Lives Matter, BLM, Black Lives Matter. If you don't think you need to be involved in what's happening with your children, this was during the Democratic National Convention. You see down there at the bottom, Democratic National Convention. This is her message. And in the background, she put Black Lives Matter. If you don't think that is going to be an issue going forward, if you don't want your children being taught Black Lives Matter, our school, again, got extended for not going back to school because of stupidity, not based on science, not based on what's really happening in our country, what's happening in our state as far as the COVID-19 is concerned, not based on that, because of stupidity, because of morons like Elizabeth Warren. Right? So that, sorry. So that's what you need to understand. You have people like Joe Biden making statements like this. This morning, this is when the guy was shot 7 times in the back, who had fought with the cops, who said he was going to get a knife and had a knife on him and was going to kill cops with a knife. And so, but Biden instead demonizes the law enforcement by saying, this morning, the nation wakes up yet again with grief and outrage. Yet another Black American is a victim of excessive force. There's no excessive force. The guy was going into his car for a knife. And the cop was right there and had to stop him with gunfire. Cops are not to lose when it comes to arresting a felon. This guy was a sexual predator, a rapist. He was fighting with the cops, resisting arrest, got tased, fought off the cops, was going to his truck to get a knife, and he was shot because of that, not because he was checking on his children, and not excessive force. So these are all the things that are so important for you to understand, that this is not something that we want America to turn out. Okay, so let's look at. I'm so sorry, I forgot all that stuff. Oh my goodness, yes. Thank goodness our kids are out of school. Oh, Lori, you're so lucky. My kids are amazing. I love my kids. They are spectacular. My son my 14-year-old gave his life to Jesus Christ not too long ago. And he's just, he doesn't do Fortnite anymore. Fortnite? That's what it's called, right? The game, the game. Fortnite. Why does that sound funny? I don't know why I'm having trouble with these names today. They're including BLM education in some areas but yeah. But you have these kids that are so busy on. So he doesn't do social media anymore. All my kids took TikTok off their phone. And we all love TikTok. I had a TikTok account. I was doing TikTok. We all took it off our phone. They don't do social media. They do a little bit of YouTube. I know that's social media, but they do YouTube. But in regard to fishing, how to edit videos, how to make things, how to cook. And they do good videos, right? They're not doing some of the other videos that they used to do. And I love what my kids are doing right now. I'm so grateful that my 14-year-old gave his life to Jesus Christ and appears to be on that path. I know nothing's guaranteed. We got to continue to work with him. We've had some great discussions, great talks. They all have great sense of humor. They're all fun. They got a lot of energy. They're really good kids. All right. So let me just show you. I promised that I would show you this friend request. Let me see if I can bring it up. And this is just one. Oh, I got another one. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me see what this one looks like. It said this page isn't available. What the heck? God, I hate the new Facebook. What? Yeah. Oh, that was a good one too. Shoot. Did they delete their friend request when they show? Hold on. Add friends. Where are my friend requests? I have 56 new friend requests. 56. Lordy. I got Felicia. Felicia she's fully dressed. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I got like 56 new requests since the last time I looked at this. This was just seconds ago. Hold on. Oh, where'd it go? She didn't take away our friend request because she heard that I was going to post it. Hold on. Wow, some people. Hold on. Elizabeth Lopez. Let's look at this one. This is, a lot of women love in their profile picture, they love pictures in their bathing suits. It is fairly amazing. Hold on. Gosh darn it. Oh, she's very pretty, but she's hold on. I don't she's very pretty. She loves her body though. Hold on. I know this is not helpful to you guys. All right, let me show you this is one picture. I'm gonna try to hide her. Oh, I can't hide her name. How can I hide her name? Because I don't want to put her down, but she does love her body. Hold on. I can't. Oh, I don't know what to do here. The one I want to show you though. This one. Okay, let me show you this. I'm gonna show this one really fast. All right, really fast. Here you go. Ready? This one's really fast. So there's that one. That one I just got. All right, that's not the one though. Wait till that's just one. I can't. Oh, sorry, I was looking through the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm gonna find the one that I wanted to show you because it is pretty amazing. I mean, women are beautiful. Again, I am. That is one of that I listen. I go to church to help me. Oh, here we go. Oh, here it is. Come on. This one. This is the one I wanted to show you. All right, this is the one. And she's wearing underwear that says Vixen. All right, here. This is something else. All right, is that real? I mean, I don't know if they are real, but is it real? I mean, is it a real friend request? I mean, this is just one of several. No, that went the opposite of what I wanted. Let's see. I don't know if she's real or not. She could. That's her only picture. So I doubt if she's real. She may be Antifa or two Antifas put together. I don't know. Oh my. I'm telling you that's just two. That's just two of I just showed you two. I hate to break it to you, but those are fake. What? I don't know if that first one is fake. She has a lot of pictures. Yeah, I can tell most of the people look like they're Black Lives Matter. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Would I be safe in deleting that one? Probably. I will delete that request from Carmela. Carmela, although you look like a very nice woman and you're probably very sweet, I'm going to delete you. Let's look at Jerka Chally. That's a really interesting name, but it won't allow me. Let me reload the page. Jerka Alley. Well, Jerka Alley. That really is her name. Jerka Alley. All right, this is where I have fun with the show. All right, hold on. Let me find another one. I think, though, Amy, just to set you straight, I think that other girl, I almost said chick again, the other chick is real. But I'm telling you, a lot of women love making their profile pictures bathing suits. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll around and find some of them. All right, that's enough fun. That's enough jocularity. All right, so I want to tell you a couple things really quick, please. And I know there's, I still have, you're sticking around for some reason. Those of you that have not had a chance, those are fake. Are they? I know the other thing might be fake. The other two things might be fake. But the one, it might be real. Strange. Absolutely, Lori. Absolutely. Antifa. It's a bot or a scam. I know. Come on. We'll support. Thank you. Okay, snap out of it. Fake news. All right. But I got a couple of those, and they have a lot of information. They have I'm not sure that they're all fake. It was the topless photo of you that did. I know. What do you mean, ooh? I went from talking about my kids to showing you stuff like that. I'm showing you the news. The news was not fake, but their accounts might be fake or something else might be fake. But the news was real. I was giving you those I did not pull those out of any of those. You saw that they were friend requests, and I deleted that. I deleted that one. All right. So what I wanted to tell you is that I need you to do something for me, if you don't mind. And that is, hold on, I'm looking for my banners here. And that is, you need to do two things. In October 1st, Facebook is going to be doing even more work on their algorithms and what have you to lower the reach of anything that's conservative. We all know that. It's already been happening. I have tons of people contact me all the time and say, hey, I don't get notifications that you're going live anymore. I used to get notifications. Now I don't get them anymore. Sorry, I need another drink here. So I don't know what's going on. So I already know that it's happening. It's going to be even worse. So what I would like you to do, if you wouldn't mind, is to do two things. The YouTube is not going to be that much different, but at least for now, I have Rumbler also. I'm working on Rumbler's not very, they need some more work on it. It's not user friendly yet. I'm sure it will be as soon as I get some things worked out. So I will have a Rumbler account. I do have a Rumbler account. So you can go there and go to the Andy, just type in Andy Falco. You'll find my presence there. But this is my YouTube channel. Go to theandyfalcoshow.com. Go to theandyfalcoshow.com. That'll take you to my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, at least there for now. And that would be fantastic. I would appreciate that very much. So go to theandyfalcoshow.com, put that in the browser, and then subscribe to my show on YouTube so that I can have you not only on Facebook, I have you on YouTube, eventually on Rumbler, and then Parler, and then some of these other areas. Understand that if you're a conservative, it's going to be more difficult for you to get real news, not fake news, on these platforms that are run by liberals and that are fake news and everything, right? They cover up everything that's factual in regard to COVID-19. They're covering up and they're deleting. I could not find that Tucker Carlson show anywhere on. I had to go to my church Strangely enough, go to my church and look at one of their broadcasts to be able to find it. I could not find it anywhere. At least I couldn't in any of my browsers, right? The other thing I want you to do is go to my podcast. Now, there's a difference. What you're watching right now is not necessarily what we would call a podcast. Now, some people might call it a podcast, but this is just a live broadcast, a Facebook live broadcast, or depending where you're watching. Some people are watching on YouTube. Some people are watching me on Twitter or Twitch. Wherever you're watching me, this is just a live broadcast. When you're talking about a podcast, that's a recorded audio or video. This podcast at the Andy Falco, AndyFalcoPodcast.com, the AndyFalcoPodcast.com. This is the iHeartRadio location. If you don't have iHeartRadio and don't use iHeartRadio, then you can go to Spotify. You can go to Apple Podcasts and just type in the Andy Falco Show. You'll find it there and subscribe. I'm just trying to direct you to one location because if you get the numbers up on one location, it's better for advertisement in the future and that kind of stuff. If the show ever gets bigger. Again, I'm over 50,000 views on that video I did yesterday. So if I can get those kinds of numbers in some of these other areas, it would help me greatly to be able to to monetize what it is I'm doing. So go to the AndyFalcoPodcast.com on iHeartRadio. Again, if you don't utilize iHeartRadio, then do whatever you do. My podcast is on several different platforms. Just go to DuckDuckGo or something like that and type in the Andy Falco Show, and it'll come up. And just pick your one: Spotify, Apple Podcast. Where else? There's other ones I can't think. Spreaker, those things, and you'll find it there. But the Andy Falco Podcast goes to iHeartRadio. Goes to that link, and go there and subscribe. That would be great. All right, that would be awesome. And that's where I put the audio version of these shows that I do now, and then some other shows I'm going to be putting up there that I don't do live on some of these shows. That's my plan in the near future. All right, my friends, I hope this has been a interesting for you and entertaining and helpful. I just really want you to do. I just want to encourage all of you to stop being silent. And I know I have my very close friends that I've been around, and I love you guys, and I know that you will lose it's quite possible you'll lose your job because it'll you say, if you say that you love Donald Trump or you love America, it's really strange, right? That in a business in America that will be destroyed with communism. The companies that are doing well right now are what? The big ones: Amazon, Walmart, Costco, perhaps, and the big chains. The big chains are doing well. Our business does not run off of big chains necessarily. They want to rule the world, right? And we support them by buying all the time. I bought something from Amazon the other day. Why? Because it's easy, it's convenient, and it gets here, and I can count on it being here for the most part. But our world here in the United States is built on the backs of entrepreneurs and middle range businesses, ma and pop companies. They're all over our country. Hundreds and thousands are going under. It's going to be very difficult for our country to continue to run in a way that we all can enjoy life if the destruction of these small companies continues to occur. And we need to support these companies. We need to understand that it is entrepreneurs that are running this country, and we need to stand strong. And it's shocking to me that people that I know are working for companies that if you say, God bless America, that if you say that you support the president, if you say that you support law enforcement, in my son's school, he did a video here. We had to cover up that sign, and we had to cover up the sign that said the Lord in it. He had to cover it up with a logo because he is now part of their their weekly announcement team. But he had to put something over the thing that said the Lord, and he had to put something over that Jesus is my Savior and Trump is my president, because they could not have it on there because it was political speech. That is not only happening in our schools, this is happening in businesses, that you cannot say that you love the Lord, love our president, love America, love law enforcement. You say any of those things and you will be fired and you will lose your job. I understand that. But at some point, even those companies that are doing that to you are going to be lost in this America, that if the Democrats get their way, the destruction of America will destroy those companies. And again, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. I have not been wrong often on any of these things. And I'm not being arrogant, as some people may think. I'm telling you that I have been right. I've been telling you what was going to happen in the Breonna Taylor case. I told you what was going to happen. I've told you what's going to happen in the George Floyd case. I'm telling you what's going to happen in the Atlanta case, the Reynolds, whatever that guy's name that got shot and killed over there, and the guy that got shot 7 times and paralyzed. I'm telling you what's going to happen in there. And I have been right. And so being silent, being worried that you're going to lose a couple family members, friends, I don't know what to tell you, because it's going to be worse than that. It's going to be, we live in the United States of America. We don't live in Cuba. We don't live in Venezuela. We don't live in Argentina. We live in the United States of America. My son should not have to cover up anything that says Jesus Christ on it or Donald Trump on it. He's our president of our country. Because there's a sign that said Trump on it, he had to cover it up. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We had to cover up the sign that said Lord because he could barely see it. Can you guys see that? It's so small. He had to cover that up on a junior high school project because it was hate speech or because it was political speech. It was none of those things. It's who my son is and it's who our family is. It's who we are. But we had to pretend that we weren't that for 2 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever that broadcast was. We couldn't show his friends. We couldn't show the school that my son believes in God. We couldn't show his school that his family loves America. If it said Barack Obama, they never would have told us to put it down. This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing. This is the dumbest period in our life in a lot of ways, but also the best time in our country in a lot of ways. If we stand up, if we speak out, if we no longer stay silent, this will be the best time ever in our country. Almost as big as the creation of our country. Because we are kind of at that time. We have to recreate our country. We have to regain our land. We have to take our land back. We have to take our country back. We have to take our government back. We have to take our state back. Because we're being forced to cover stuff up like this because it says Jesus Christ, because it says Donald Trump. That has to be covered up. This is the most ridiculous time in our life if we allow it to continue. It has to be the most powerful time in our life. It has to be the opposite of what they want. And so I know I've gone for a very long time. And now I'm getting very angry. I need another shot. But here's to you guys. Here's to America. It's America versus Democrats. Americans versus Democrats. You have to understand that. That's the way that it is. And until you speak up, you will continue to not be helping the cause of bringing America back. All right, my friends, I love you guys so much, and I appreciate you. If you would please subscribe. I have never been more motivated to create something out of nothing. And that's kind of what I'm doing. This is may not be anything, but 50,000 views is nothing to sneeze at on a broadcast I did yesterday. I can go anywhere from having 10 people watching to hundreds and thousands of people watching. It doesn't matter to me. If this impacts a couple people to make a difference, to speak up, to show up at a rally, it's all worthwhile. At some point, though, I have to make a living from this. So it would be great if you followed some of my sponsors. I would appreciate that. And you subscribe. The subscriptions are important. The subscribing is important. That's all you have to do is click and subscribe. And I know I told you I was going to sign off. I faked you out like 3 or 4 times, but I am for sure signing off right now because I want this. That's what America should look like. All right, my friends. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you on the next broadcast. Take care. Bye-bye.